Welcome to another episode of Just a Tip. I'm here with Ieva from Beyond Berlin. And
Thank you.
First of all, let's talk about how do you actually say your name properly?
Well, it's Ieva. You said it perfectly.
Because it's not spelled that way. And as
It
an
is
American,
spelled this way.
in American, it looks like Ieva.
In Germany, it looks like Leva or Java. I've gotten like Java, like software.
See?
There's also
That's spelled.
beer. Yes. No, but it's pronounced Ieva. So
And you're from?
Lithuania.
Okay.
You know that now.
We wouldn't know
Yes.
how the Lithuanians actually pronounce stuff.
Yes.
But Ieva
But
is
it's
a very
Ieva.
nice name. So
Thank
we're
you.
happy to have you
It's
here.
Eve in English, actually.
Eve,
So,
see?
yes.
That would make more sense to me.
I
when
know,
see the
but I'm from
spelling.
Lithuania, so like let me have my Lithuanian name.
I'm absolutely with it. I love it. It's nice. It's actually nice to say when you get used to it.
Yeah,
nice.
exactly.
Thank you for coming and
Thank you for
enjoying.
inviting.
We're here at More Life Studio, and again, Ieva's here to talk about more about what she does here in Berlin, because I've done like 2 events now with you guys,
Exactly.
tennis related, and
I love to see him play tennis.
Yeah.
Yes.
I am a natural, first of all.
Yes.
I'm a natural, okay?
Yes.
Yes. So basically, let's talk about what you're doing and what you're aspiring to do here in Berlin.
Amazing. Let's start with that. So first of all, thanks so much for having me here. So what I'm doing currently, I'm building a business called Beyond Berlin that's basically focusing on making tennis accessible. But the vision is actually to build a platform of different movements, to actually make it more joyful and less performance-based. So I'm from Lithuania, and I grew up loving sports and loving just different ways to move. So I used to take like all the dance classes, volleyball. We used to play basketball all the time because we had like a basketball court at home. And movement to me is like such a joyful way of like living.
Yeah.
Good thing a lot of times like we grow up and we want to like push ourselves all the time, which is not a bad thing, because I also I ran a marathon, an ultra, and a half marathon, and I love to push. But there's a beautiful way of like pushing, but also trying to enjoy it as well. And tennis is a sport that wasn't accessible where I used to live in. I saw a court when I turned 18 or so. I
Really?
just never saw a tennis court. Yeah.
In Lithuania, you
In
didn't have tennis
Lithuania,
courts.
we only had basketball courts.
This is best.
This
though.
is like the whole
This is
country
my
was like,
world.
I
This
know.
is what I love.
You should go there.
I might have to take a trip. To
Yeah.
Lithuania.
So when I moved to Berlin and I wanted also to learn tennis, I was like, there's literally no opportunity for me to just start and like entry the sport in the easiest way possible.
Yeah.
And our whole business model is like, okay, our mission is like to make tennis as accessible as like to take in like a yoga class. So you don't have to think about tennis gear. You don't have to think even about the shoes, because you can also rent the shoes. You don't have to think about the coach, about where is it gonna be, the class gonna be taking at. So we kind of like do everything for you. So it's kind of like one-stop solution for tennis. And tennis also has like a lot of barriers that we're trying to break as well, like social and racial, and it's still seen as like elite thing. So not everyone belongs on court, but everyone should belong on court. So
yeah, I mean, tennis is definitely still in its own little world
Exactly.
of elitist and very white elite sport still. But again, like every sport, minorities kind of do really good in that sport, but it's just not accessible, like you said.
No.
So it's kind of shocking to me to hear that a white Lithuanian woman never really had access to tennis. And normally we would think, oh yeah, she knows tennis, she plays tennis, but it's kind of, I didn't know you even see a tennis court till 18. That's kind of new to me.
Yeah.
Because you're into the sport deeply, Like I did the events with you guys, and it was awesome to see how deep you guys are into the sport, how much you love it, and how much you want everyone to be a part of it. So to see that all the different races there, all the different genders, and people just actually playing the sport.
Exactly.
That's not normal. Typically, it's just not normal, because you go to a club and it's only one set of people, and you have to dress a certain way. You have to be this in order to even be in the club to play. So what you guys are doing is awesome.
How did you see tennis living in the States?
In the States, I tried tennis once. I have to be full transparency. I was in the 9th grade, so I was about 13, 14, and I was trying to figure out, okay, I came from the bottom, right? So I said, okay, I have to get scholarship somehow. I'm not going to be able to pay for college in America is super expensive. So my English teacher saw me play basketball, volleyball. He's like, you're super athletic and you can do all these things. Try tennis. And I was like, tennis? I'm like, I can't afford to play tennis, you know? And it's funny because my neighborhood was two sides. It was like there's a side with money and there's a side with no money. So we coming from the side with like no money, but we didn't realize that there was actually money. We didn't understand our school had money. They just never gave it to us.
Yeah.
But we had a tennis team. They were horrible. So I tried tennis, and I remember the first time I picked it up, I was able to serve overhand. I was able to like volley, and the coach was trying to recruit me. He's like, you need to play. I will pay for your everything. Just play it.
Wow.
But where I'm from, no one paid tennis. It was all basketball and American football. So I was known as a basketball player.
Yeah.
So the first time I stepped off the bus to go practice was at the high school, and I'm sitting there like, all the varsity guys are looking at me stepping off to play tennis, like, and they're like, what the you doing playing tennis? I'm like, yeah, I'm not playing tennis.
Oh, tennis? What is this racket?
I'm trying to get an A in this English class, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, I was a little, because I was young, and and all the older guys, are, they're looking at me as to be the next big thing in basketball. And they're like, what are you doing?
So
and that kind of changed my direction, which is sad because, and also it was too slow for me. To be honest, the game was too slow because I'm playing at such a lower level, and these people were not as quick as I am, not athletic. And I'm used to basketball, I'm used to football, I'm used to like quickness. And tennis was not fast at that point for me. So it was like boring, and on top of that, it just didn't work. So I was like, okay, I wish I would stay with it because it's actually a fun sport. And when I got back into it was when you guys invited me.
And how did you experience it again? Because it was
you guys.
Okay, but how was it? Like,
it was so much better this time around because it's faster. Because when I first practiced, my first practice with a friend of mine at a club in the West over here in Berlin, and we're both played on the same basketball team actually. So he's quick, he's athletic, and he was showing me, and we're going back and forth. And he was like, "Yo, you gotta start playing again. This is awesome. You can play." And I'm like, "Yeah, I liked it because it was a little competitive, and I could see as you get better how intense it can be."
Exactly.
So I am now thinking about doing some tennis stuff, but I have so much on my plate. I'm always open to rock with Beyond Berlin.
I love that.
To do tennis.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's awesome that you guys are making it accessible because there is, at some point, I want you guys to be successful, to have that kid like me actually go into the sport and succeed and find his way or her way in that sport.
Yeah.
Because it's something that should be accessible to everyone.
Absolutely. And I love that you said about like the kid, because we also tend to think about it as well. And we've been hosting like different tennis events. There's one that we hosted only for kids, and we saw how also like people experience like tennis in a totally different way. And of course there are like kids parents there who I think are the worst. Kids are not the worst. Kids parents are the worst because they get so competitive because of their kids. They just want to see them win.
Go to America.
Oh my gosh! And I was like, can you just relax? It's not about it's not about competing, and I completely understand that it's like there has to be a certain way for you to progress, especially if you want to make it to the top. But if you have just like social, I don't know, just like really nice kids who are social with each other and just want to have a good time, why is it so hard to let the kids have a good time? So it was amazing also like to see kids. They're like, oh my gosh, like when are you gonna do it again? Can we get an invite for the next year? Because it was so much fun to just enjoy tennis in a totally different way. So that's our goal. And I think also tennis can be very individual as well, because you kind of alone on court, and if you're good enough, then you're going to be alone on court. But we want to bring also people together, so there could be 6 people on court. We can play doubles, we can play triples. We can also just like guide you through it if you've never held a racket in your life. So we kind of have the whole kind of like range of customers, people who've never tried like me, and people who've been playing tennis like all their lives, and then they stopped because there's some kind of a blocks in them, mental or financial as well, where you just couldn't go on. But with these like tennis clubs in the city of Berlin, you literally have like a waiting list of 3 years for you to just become a member of it and start paying the money so you can get like 1 or 2 hour slots. So it's like the whole system is like really shit.
Yeah, I get this. I mean, like I said, when I did this event with you last time, what was this? In September we did that.
Yeah, like all far away in Museum.
Yeah. Was it Museum?
Yes, yeah. But I was like the hotel, so like because we got to know the right people.
Yeah,
and
it
they
worked
let
out.
us play exactly.
I liked it because I mean I wanted to more. I'm super competitive, so I was down to be like I had to keep it down, but it was a cool way of doing it because there was 3 people on the court, with 2 other people with me, and I could see how that brought us together, and we were talking, we were introducing, and it was awesome to kind of have that kind of camaraderie with complete strangers, and that's what sports is about to me. You know, we grew up in America. It's literally all about winning. We don't. So when I come here and everyone's like, "You're too aggressive. You're too," I'm like, I'm not aggressive enough. Like in America, we are super aggressive. Yeah. Like you said, the parents are worse. Yeah, you see nothing. The parents are maniacs in America with sports.
Wow.
Complete animals. Wow. Like I couldn't coach basketball. I did it once and I left the game with such a headache because I'm screaming at the kids to go do their thing. But now I'm fighting with the parents behind me. I'm like, shut up. Yes. Shut up. And you know, and they're gonna see me in the parking lot afterwards. They want to fight. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna coach. I'm not doing this.
So, which mindset do you think is the right one, or like, where do you then lean towards?
When, in what sense?
Just like more aggressive, or like, and more competitive, or like.
In America?
For you now.
For me now? Oh no, I can't be aggressive because no one's aggressive out here. Aggression is like a bad thing.
So you need to tone it down.
I have to tone it down. I tone it down a lot, like a lot. Like,
but do you still feel it like you're yourself then, if you need to like?
Yeah, I mean now I'm playing some basketball in an older men's league, and even then I realized I cannot be who I am because they're not going to respond well. They're going to take it in a negative way, and it's not going to work. So I have to really tone it down, even though I just want to win and destroy whoever's in front of me, because that's the mode that I'm always in. That's the mode we're taught this in America from babies. It's win or nothing. You know, no one remembers second place. That's like the rule in America. No one remembers second place. You can take your silver and throw it out because no one's gonna remember. I had friends that threw out their trophies right after the tournament if we didn't win.
Wow.
Just threw it out.
No.
Okay, so basically it's the nature of the beast in America. So coming here, it's literally a huge calm down for me when it comes to my competitive nature.
Yeah.
You know?
But do you think that you can still get along, like, or like get further faster because you still have this mindset of like hustle? And
I would say that it's definitely a positive coming to a place such as Germany or even any country that's not in the mind frame of America. It's a positive and it's a negative in a way, but the positive is that you do have this drive that they didn't learn. So that's what kind of like separates you a little bit, but that can also isolate you in the society because it's just not the way they operate. Yeah. So it's a fine balance.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think that's what you guys are doing kind of helps people like me to understand that. Because when you integrate us and we're starting to work and play and do our things with other people, we start to realize, okay, I don't have to be so go, you know? Yeah. Like at that tournament with you guys, I toned it down so much, but Carly, she came to me and she was just like, you're super, competitive. I was like, yeah, I know. I'm sorry, I had to bring it down. But she was right, because she's American. She understands it, because she was a track. She understands it. Yeah. But she's calm, you know? Yeah. And I'm just like, New Yorker, let's go win. Yeah. So it's awesome to try to bring myself down and actually have fun.
Yes, but you are building your own, universe of fitness that's more like studio. So I feel like you can put all of that aggression and like hustle and all of it in that too, right?
Yeah, but I can't because I still have to kind of, again, keep the nature of society, the people from here in mind, right? Yeah. So I can't, like, in America, we like, stop being weak, we're going after you, And it doesn't work that way here. No. It doesn't work that way. Yeah. So it was actually a good lesson to be learned. And that's why I was so much better when I got to your tournament, because by then I had to deal with so many clients that I had to say, okay, let me adjust my intensity here. And it's good. It's actually a good thing. There's a balance in life, right? Exactly. You can't always be on 100. No. And that's when, coming from New York and America, we always on 100. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. So it's nice to come to a place and say, okay, they look at me like, oh no, D, we're not working today. I'm like,
What do you mean?
What do you mean you're not working today? No, today we're not working. I was like, okay. After a year, I was like, I get it. You know, I get it. It's good to bring it down a little.
Yeah.
So
having
it's
said
good.
that, it's a national holiday and we're literally working.
And I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I understand. Although I feel like in Lithuania, I wouldn't say, or maybe I feel like we're definitely also are like a hardworking society. And I always had like an insane drive, but it's a very natural tendency for me to like want to initiate to do things. And I feel also beyond happening because I had this drive of like, I can make it happen. I don't have the tools and I may not know everything, but I'm just gonna figure it out on the way. I think a lot of people here, they don't do it because they're like, oh, but I need to have all of these things, so I need to start doing it. In my head, I'm like, it's fine, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, they're more structured.
Yeah.
And I do love that about Germans. They have a good structure, but it gets in the way of creativity and just going.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's why there's a balance, and I'm learning, and that's good to learn and grow in different areas of the world, different places.
Sure.
So that's why I kind of have an appreciation for Berlin. I don't know all of Germany, but for Berlin, because it did teach me some things, you know?
For sure.
It did teach me things like a certain kind of organization. But like you said, I'm the same thing. We go, we learn. So when we first met, it was like, because I reached out to you guys and you guys didn't hit me back for months.
I'm sorry.
And I was like, okay, they ghosted me. That's cool. Whatever.
No, I usually never ghost.
Yeah,
So sorry.
yeah. And I don't know what happened. You guys responded to me saying
but
something.
I did respond exactly, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I
don't know.
And then I checked out your Instagram, and I was like, oh my gosh, like you do such cool things. It's so amazing that also you notice us. I mean it. Please. I'm gonna pull up my phone.
It worked out.
Anyway, we met at Soho House. He was like 30 minutes late.
No, it wasn't.
You were late.
I'm never late.
You're stuck in traffic. You said that.
Yeah, that's not me. That's traffic.
Okay, fine.
There's a difference.
It's a New York thing, I guess. So.
Maybe.
Never blame me.
Maybe
okay,
I was late.
fine.
I will take the blame on that. But I was also shocked that meeting you and Misha, that you guys were like, seemed like hustlers, which I didn't meet a lot of hustlers out here. So to find out where you're from, it was like, okay, it made more sense. So I was like, okay, so that's the hustler in you, and the let's get it done and go and learn as we grow, and do the best you can and make it work. And so far, you've done that. So that's why I had to kind of bring you on, just a tip. So what is your kind of, let's say, what are your tips for basically starting in tennis?
I would say like I'm more into starting maybe like a business rather than tennis, because I'm not a tennis player. I would say I'm coming from running, you know. So I've been doing tennis now for like the past years, but in general I'm a runner. But the tips for building a business, which is kind of like the tips that I would also probably give myself, because I haven't made it in any way possible, and I need to talk to myself every single day. I'm like, Ieva, you can do this. And sometimes I cry myself to sleep and I'm like, but I know at some point it's just gonna make sense, you know. And I love that perseverance as well. So tip for maybe like starting anything new, whatever that is, would it be tennis or running or building something yourself, I would say just have patience. I think it's like one of the most important things. Good thing is in today's society, we want to get everything super fast, and we so focus on rewarding, like the sense of reward of like, okay, I did this, give me that. We run a marathon, we want to get a praise from people. It's just always about like getting something back, and kind of like really trying to get used to not getting anything back for now, and just really putting your head focused on the work that you're doing. Or tennis. Also tennis is a very frustrating sport, because you're not going to be good in a minute, you know. Like field basketball, you can like get by quite quickly, or like running, you know, you can physically, you can run a marathon next year if you start now. Tennis, you'll probably be the same freaking level in a year from now. And that is the most frustrating thing, but because the learning curve is not like this, it's actually it's quite flat, you know. But that's a beautiful thing, you know, for you. Like, how do you work with yourself? Like, how are you gonna like be talking with yourself, realizing that you're not as good as you thought you would be. And then also, I would say one of the most important things for me, besides patience, is also like supporting other people doing the same thing, because I feel also if you support other people, these people support you. And I feel like, because if you're doing something completely new, you're gonna get a lot of no's. So you need to make sure that you balance it out with people who give you yes, even though these wouldn't be the opportunities, but at least like emotional support. And that's for me very, very important actually. So I always feel supported by you, no matter what, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I have a lot of women in my life who are just always support me. That's one of the biggest things for me.
I agree. Thank you all the ladies that support me as well. So I want to say in the end, thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for giving your time and letting us know what's going on with Beyond. And stay tuned for more. We're not done with her, so we're gonna talk a little bit more about stuff. But for right now, this is just a tip, and this is Ieva from Beyond Berlin.